Hello learners, Namaskar. Welcome to today's lecture. In this session, we'll explore how Assamese expresses comparison of qualities, moving step by step from the positive degree to the comparative and finally to the superlative degree. Understanding comparison is essential because in everyday communication, we constantly evaluate things, whether something is bigger, better, faster, or the best among many. Assamese expresses these meanings in systematic and meaningful ways, though not always through fixed suffixes like English. Let us begin with the basic idea. What is comparison of qualities? Comparison of qualities refers to the process of evaluating one thing in relation to another on the basis of a shared characteristic or attribute. For example, when we say Ravi is tall, we are simply describing Ravi's quality. But when we say Ravi is taller than Amit, we begin comparing two individuals. And when we say Ravi is the tallest student in the class, we compare Ravi with an entire group. Thus, comparison helps speakers indicate similarity and difference, higher or lower degree, superiority or inferiority, and intensity of qualities. Without comparison, language will remain limited to simple description. Now let's move to the degrees of comparison in Assamese. In Assamese, like most of the languages in the world, comparison is expressed through three degrees: positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. These three stages represent increasing levels of comparison. The positive degree simply states a quality. The comparative degree compares two entities, whereas the superlative degree identifies one entity as possessing the highest degree of a quality among many. Let us now examine each of these in detail. Positive degree. The positive degree is the basic and simplest form of an adjective. It describes a quality without comparing it with anything else. In this degree, the adjective merely tells us about the nature or characteristic of a noun. For example, এইটো এটা ডাঙৰ ঘৰ. এইটো এটা ডাঙৰ ঘৰ, which means this is a big house. He এজন ভাল মানুহ. He এজন ভাল মানুহ, which means he is a good person. এই কামটো সহজ. এই কামটো সহজ, which means this task is easy. And আজিৰ বতৰ ঠাণ্ডা. আজিৰ বতৰ ঠাণ্ডা, which means today's weather is cold. In all these examples, the adjectives ডাঙৰ meaning big, ভাল meaning good, সহজ meaning easy, and thanda meaning cold simply describe the inherent qualities or characteristics of nouns. In these examples, the speaker is not comparing one object with another. Rather, the speaker is only stating a property or condition directly. For instance, in the sentence, এইটো এটা ডাঙৰ ঘৰ, the adjective ডাঙৰ only describes the size of the house. We do not know whether the house is bigger or smaller than another house because no comparison has been introduced. Similarly, in the sentence he এজন ভাল মানুহ, the adjective ভাল merely expresses a positive quality about the person. It does not compare him with anyone else. Thus, the positive degree represents the basic or neutral form of an adjective. It serves as the starting point from which the comparative and superlative degrees are later formed. In other words, before a speaker can say that something is bigger or the biggest, the speaker must first understand the simple quality big. Therefore, the positive degree forms the semantic foundation of all comparison. In Assamese, positive degree constructions are extremely common in everyday communication because they are used for ordinary description, observation, and identification of qualities without involving evaluation against another entity. Few more examples of the same type are এইখন এখন বিখ্যাত মহাবিদ্যালয়. এইখন এখন বিখ্যাত মহাবিদ্যালয়, which means This is a famous college. Mor bandhabi joni bor dhuniya. Mor bandhabi joni bor dhuniya. Which literally means my female friend is very beautiful. Ei garikhon notun. Ei garikhon notun. Which means this car is new. Next is comparative degree. The comparative degree is used when two persons, objects, places, ideas, or situations are compared with one another. Unlike the positive degree, where an adjective merely describes a quality, the comparative degree shows that one entity possesses a quality to a greater or lesser extent than another. In Assamese, comparison is commonly expressed through the suffix tokoi, which is equivalent to den in English. This suffix establishes the relationship between two entities being compared. It generally follows the noun or pronoun that serves as the standard of comparison. The basic structure of comparative degree in Assamese is noun plus the suffix tokoi plus adjective. For example, ei ghortu hei ghortutkoi dangor. Ei ghortu hei ghortutkoi dangor, which means this house is bigger than that house. Azir dintu kalitkoi gorom. Azir dintu kalitkoi gorom, which means today is hotter than yesterday. Ei nodikhon ankhanotkoi dighol. Ei nodikhon ankhanotkoi dighol, which means this river is longer than the other one. In all these examples, the adjectives do not merely describe qualities of the corresponding objects independently. Rather, they compare two entities directly. For instance, ei ghortu hei ghortutkoi dangor. Here, the adjective dangor, meaning big, no longer simply describes the house. Instead, it shows that one house possesses a greater size in comparison to another house. Similarly, in the sentence, hi mutkoi beshi buddhiman, the adjective buddhiman, meaning intelligent, expresses a higher degree of intelligence in one person compared to another. As we can see in the sentence, sometimes the adverb beshi, meaning more, is also added before the adjective to make the comparison clearer and stronger. For example, hi mutkoi beshi buddhiman. Hi mutkoi beshi buddhiman, which means he is more intelligent than me. The adverb beshi intensifies the comparison and makes the contrast more explicit. In many comparative constructions, the Assamese people frequently use the adverb beshi. This is especially common with descriptive or abstract adjectives. Let us see some more examples of the use of the adverb. Tar ghortu mor ghortutkoi beshi sundor. Tar ghortu mor ghortutkoi beshi sundor, which means his house is more beautiful than mine. এই ছবিখন আগৰখনতকৈ বেছি স্পষ্ট. এই ছবিখন আগৰখনতকৈ বেছি স্পষ্ট, which means this picture is clearer than the previous one. তুমি মোতকৈ বেছি ব্যস্ত থাকা. তুমি মোতকৈ বেছি ব্যস্ত থাকা, which means you are busier than me. Thus, the comparative degree introduces evaluation and contrast between two entities. It helps speakers indicate superiority, inferiority, size difference, quantity difference, beauty, intelligence, speed, age, strength, and many other relative qualities. Let us now move to superlative degree. The superlative degree is used when a person, object, place, idea, or situation is shown to possess the highest or lowest degree of equality within a group. Unlike the comparative degree, which compares two entities, the superlative degree compares one entity with many others and identifies it as the most outstanding among them. In Assamese, superlative meaning is commonly expressed through the words ataitkoi, which means the most, and hokolotkoi, which means the most among all. These expressions indicate the extreme or ultimate degree of a quality. the basic structure of superlative degree in Assamese is noun or pronoun plus আটাইতকৈ or সকলোতকৈ plus adjective. For example, এইটো আটাইতকৈ ডাঙৰ ঘৰ. এইটো আটাইতকৈ ডাঙৰ ঘৰ, which means this is the biggest house. সি সকলোতকৈ ভাল ছাত্ৰ. সি সকলোতকৈ ভাল ছাত্ৰ, which means he is the best student. এইটো আটাইতকৈ কঠিন প্ৰশ্ন. এইটো আটাইতকৈ কঠিন প্ৰশ্ন, which means this is the most difficult question. ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ অসমৰ সকলোতকৈ দীঘল নদী. ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ অসমৰ সকলোতকৈ দীঘল নদী, which means the Brahmaputra is the longest river in Assam. In all these examples, the adjectives no longer simply describe qualities or compare only two entities. Instead, they identify one entity as possessing the highest degree of a particular quality within a larger group. For instance, এইটো আটাইতকৈ ডাঙৰ ঘৰ, the adjective ডাঙৰ meaning big does not merely describe the size of the house, nor does it compare only two houses. Rather, it shows that this particular house is larger than all the other houses being considered. Similarly, in the sentence, he সকলোতকৈ ভাল ছাত্ৰ, the adjective ভাল meaning good expresses the highest level of quality among all the students. The phrase সকলোতকৈ intensifies the meaning and establishes the student as superior to everyone else in the group. In Assamese, the words আটাইতকৈ and সকলোতকৈ are very common in daily speech when speakers wish to emphasize excellence, uniqueness, greatness, beauty, difficulty, size, speed, intelligence, or importance. Let us see some more examples of superlative constructions. এইখন অসমৰ আটাইতকৈ সুন্দৰ গাঁও. এইখন অসমৰ আটাইতকৈ সুন্দৰ গাঁও, which means this is the most beautiful village in Assam. তেওঁ আমাৰ সকলোতকৈ অভিজ্ঞ শিক্ষক. তেওঁ আমাৰ সকলোতকৈ অভিজ্ঞ শিক্ষক, which means he is our most experienced teacher. এই পথটো আটাইতকৈ দীঘল. এই পথটো আটাইতকৈ দীঘল, which means this road is the longest. Thus, the superlative degree expresses maximum intensity and ultimate comparison. It helps speakers identify the most prominent, exceptional, or extreme member within a group. Through superlative constructions, Assamese speakers can express admiration, evaluation, judgment, superiority, uniqueness, and emphasis in a very neutral and effective manner. Let us now observe how meaning develops across the three degrees. To understand the relationship between the positive, comparative, and superlative degrees more clearly, let us observe how the meaning of an adjective gradually changes from simple description to comparison and finally to ultimate comparison. Let us first take an adjective which is ডাঙৰ, meaning big. When it is in positive degree as এইটো ডাঙৰ ঘৰ, which means this is a big house, the adjective ডাঙৰ simply describes the quality of the house. No comparison is made with any other house. The sentence merely tells us that the house possesses the quality of being big. In comparative degree, it will be uttered as এই ঘৰটো সেই ঘৰটোতকৈ ডাঙৰ, which means this house is bigger than that house, where the adjective no longer functions as a simple description. Instead, it compares two houses and shows that one house possesses a greater degree of size than the other. In the case of superlative degree, the adjective expresses the highest degree of the quality. The sentence identifies one particular house as superior in size among many houses, as in এইটো আটাইতকৈ ডাঙৰ ঘৰ, which means this is the biggest house. Thus, we can observe a gradual semantic development. In positive degree, we see simple description. In comparative degree, we see comparison between two entities, and in superlative degree, we see the highest degree within a group. Let us now compare these degrees in Assamese and English. It is interesting to note that Assamese and English express comparison differently. In English, as we can see here, big, bigger, biggest, the adjective itself changes form. However, Assamese usually keeps the adjective unchanged and instead uses separate comparison markers such as tokoi, which means than, besi, which means more, and ataitkoi or hokolotkoi means most. Thus, Assamese comparison is more syntactic than morphological. Importance of learning degrees of comparison. Understanding comparison is important because it helps learners describe differences accurately, express opinions and judgments, compare people and object naturally, improve descriptive writing and speaking, and understand academic and literary Assamese. Comparison also plays a major role in storytelling, debate, poetry, and daily conversations. To conclude, the system of comparison in Assamese allows speakers to express qualities with increasing levels of precision. The positive degree simply describes a quality. The comparative degree compares two entities using markers such as tokoi and besi. The superlative degree identifies the highest degree through forms such as ataitkoi and hokolotkoi. Although Assamese does not heavily modify adjective forms like English, it uses effective syntactic structures to express comparison clearly and naturally. Regular practice of these constructions will help learners become more fluent and expressive in Assamese. Thank you for joining the session. Until next time, keep learning and stay tuned. Dhanyabad.